Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where we're doing a little bit more NECRY TALKIE reviewing. And if you want to see the reaction, then just pause this video and click the link in the description below, which will open up a separate player so you can watch that, just the way we have to do things now. But yeah, if you haven't seen that, watch it now because I'm about to give you the review. Are you ready? Here comes the review. Don't say I didn't warn you. Alright, so NECRY TALKIE just being NECRY TALKIE. I think it would be, I would understand that if you are not naturally into their sound. I did hear someone once say, I think it was when we first reviewed them, we got one of the comments was that they were almost in or unpalatably happy. It was so much that for some people this would be an overload of happiness. I can understand that. If you're not naturally into these guys, I don't think any of their songs would convince you because they seem to all be of a similar ilk. I would be surprised if they came along with a sad, heartfelt ballad. Maybe in 20 years they will. Who knows? But certainly they've got a style, and the style works. I mean, I was drawing a few comparisons, and most of the comparisons I can think of are interesting because there are bands who I consider to be technically very interesting bands. You know, like I say, some of the guitar runs and the way that they play guitar in that sort of choppy, changeable way is very much in the same ilk as like Cardiacs, who, you know, anyone who's into their music writing, that's a name that you don't say lightly. And then you've got like a lot of the way that the production and like I say, the flow of the song was handled and the sort of crazy sounds remind you of those sort of earlier day, and some of the more modern stuff, but certainly of the earlier day Bare Naked Ladies songs, which if you don't know more of that band than 1 week, then you really should go check out some of their early stuff because it's really musically interesting. And, you know, it reminded me a lot of that, the way they would use playful sounds that most other contemporary bands would feel almost like, oh, we can't use that, it comes across as too childish. But they use it with such a sense of confidence that it comes across in actuality as confidently just self-assured and fun. And, you know, just like we don't have to take ourselves seriously because we like what we do and we're good at it. So everything about NECRY TALKIE is sort of reminding me of things that I really, really like. And yet with a song like this, even by comparison to some of their other ones that we've heard so far, I think this is now the 5th song we've heard by NECRY TALKIE. Actually, this song, underneath it all, is a fairly simple rock song. You know, it progresses in a fairly simple rock and roll way. It's got a chorus which is nice and simple, but really, really catchy. It's got a lot of qualities that are actually just infectiously enjoyable in a sort of normal pop, rock and roll, rock, whatever you want to call it, sort of way. So this song, for me, has the quality of being incredibly accessible and yet incredibly fun. Like I say, I understand that for some people, they are almost too much fun to handle. It's like some people want their bands to have a little bit more grounding, and I can imagine they probably look at NECRY TALKIE the way that you would look at a maybe being in a party with a person who's just too happy. It's like, we're all happy for you, but it's too much. I can understand that. For me, I find it incredibly engaging. Maybe if I sat down and listened to an entire album, maybe then it would burn me out. The musical stuff, again, was great. I loved how everyone was doing their own individual bits. You know, occasionally, as has been the case again with all of their songs, you have some bits where one instrument stands out, another instrument stands out, or they're all working together. Nice, funky walking bass lines that are designed not to be the sole attraction, but to sort of underpin and support the rest of the music. The guitar lines are nice, choppy. Like I said, they've got that like Cardiacs like sort of quality to them. Someone tell Carver Starabi. And then you got the drum lines, always sort of, again, fun, but knowing how to occasionally poke little holes in the rhythm that provide opportunities for the other instruments to do interesting things. Keyboard work in this one, keyboard work's always really good with NECRY TALKIE, but this was one of the ones where it really sort of stood out because of the way that she was using the effects and the sort of fun way that she was really, again, accenting all the things that are happening. And the vocals, again, were pretty much as you'd expect from NECRY TALKIE. You know, they were good, they were fun, they were bouncy, lively, and then, you know, pumped full of energy for the chorus. So here's where we come to the overall sort of crux of the review, therefore, is whether you see these things as good or bad. And I'm not talking so much about the tone, I'm talking more about, as I mentioned at the beginning of the review, I would be surprised if I ever heard these guys doing a ballad. And I don't necessarily know that I even want to hear that. I don't want to hear them doing anything sad because they're so good at this. But what I'm interested by is, I mean, I personally think that each of their songs I've heard thus far, to varying degrees of how much I've liked them, have all sounded incredibly unique. But I have not But they've also got a huge amount in common, both in tone, in the tricks they use, the styles they use, everything like that. They even echo that slightly in the way they do their videos, always have a very similar style. You know, sort of differences are very surface, but the way that it works is always the same with videos, and thus always the same with the songs. So on one level, I think on the level of looking at the technicalities, they're very different. On the level of looking at what basically are they trying to achieve, it's kind of like they're trying to achieve the same thing in every single song. And so for me, like I say, I like them. I really like them, but I've never tested sitting down listening to a whole album. And I do wonder whether it would sound too, well, I wouldn't say anything about this band is monotone, but the overall tone of the album would feel monotone if I was just to listen to all of their songs. Do they have that kind of variation? I guess this kind of goes back to what I was saying of like earlier Bare Naked Ladies material, because if you heard just some of the happy upbeat songs that they had on, say, for example, their first or even second album in particular, you would really be hard pressed to imagine that they have some really deep songs, really deep, emotional, almost psychological songs later on the same albums. So I think there has to become a point where I have to sit down and do a review maybe, or listen to an entire Necry Talkie album to really get an idea for this band, for the context. I think, again, it's always going to come down to subjective opinion, because I probably, just from how much I like them, just from how much I like what they're doing and how it differs from so many other bands and how I just wish them success, I probably would be willed through even an album where all of the songs kind of sounded like they were doing the same emotional or sort of basically trying to pull the same trick in different ways. I think I'd get through it just on goodwill towards this band, just from how much I just like what they do and like what they are. I like what they are. But like I say, that might not work for other people. So I'm really interested, as always, I ask you guys to get in the comments and tell me what you think. I'm particularly interested in this one to know what you think overall of this song in context. Because like I say, on its own, this song is brilliant. And that video, so simple, but just really engaging. It's full of fun. It's another one where I think I really need to go back and translate the lyrics and see if there's something extra that I need to say that maybe I didn't pick up from a little bit of Japanese that I understood as it went through. However, just the video was infectious as well. They got a simple, like I say, got a simple way that they do their videos that always works. There are some very in common things about the way they do the camera angles, the way they line up the shots, the way that they focus on, what the attention of the video often is. Obviously, this one had the extra character, but again, framed in a very similar manner and done very colourfully. So, like I say, I would be interested to know what you guys think of this song, but as many of you have been with this channel long enough to have, even if you've just been following my reviews and not listening to the band independently, you've probably heard a lot of Necry Talkie's other songs, along with me or otherwise, like I say. I'd be really interested to know what you think of this song, both on its own and in context overall of what Necry Talkie are. If you know more about the band, if you're someone who's, really listened to their albums and knows more of their material than I do, I certainly hope to hear a lot more. Maybe you can tell me if they've got songs that really contrast from this. Apologies, by the way, if someone's commented and told me that sort of thing before, maybe on the previous channel before it got taken down. So yeah, I'd be really looking forward to seeing what you guys think of this one and what you say about this one. And as always, I will try and follow your advice as best as possible. I've already got another Necry Talkie song lined up that I want to listen to, but I certainly I'll be interested to know what you guys, like I say, think and suggest moving forwards from here. Anyway, as always, as well as the commenting, you can like, subscribe, and you can follow all our other social medias where we're bantering about Japanese music and other things all the time. In the description below, there's links for all that. And for anyone who's followed our Patreon and supported there, we know who you are, and we really appreciate it. So thank you so much for it again. I say it every time, but it remains true. You're the reason why the channel's still here, honestly. So you got us through a lot, and we appreciate it. Thank you for making it through to the end of this video, whoever you are. And for now, from Japan, until I hopefully see you soon on the next one, ciao, ciao.